Imagine if such a place existed that was modelled after the Axis Mundi, the assembly of the gods, the concentric circles once seen in the sky as detailed everywhere that we look on our world. And perhaps the Azores are the remains of such an Atlantis. If you read Ignatius Donnelly's works on the subject, he gives amazing accounts of landmasses rising and falling throughout human history. One problem with Plato's story that no one ever mentions is if the story came from an Egyptian priest, he would never have used the term Zeus. The ancients suffered severe effects of a catastrophic demise of a presence in the sky that made this earth plentiful. They tried in vain, almost relentlessly, to recreate a world lost in the cataclysmic demise of the ancient golden era. This is an age that is now forgotten to us, but this was remembered in antiquity. All pyramid structures, temples, structures like the Kailasa temple, all these places are efforts to recreate the cosmic mountain, the age of Kronos. All across Siberia, the squatter man is found. All throughout the most ancient cultures, the squatter man is found. This is an influence that assimilates until the meaning becomes lost. Symbolic in every religion, yet it seems no priest or cardinal today even knows the truth about our godlike perceptions, the light of the world. The Sumerians prayed to the squatter man. From the library of our great collaborator Kronos, one such prayer reads as follows: Rising flood storms approaches mankind. People bring their prayers to you like anxious birds rising. Imbued with awesomeness, no one is almightier than you. You of terrifying appearance, endowed with fearsome splendour. You are imbued with great awesomeness. You are a hurricane that approaches mankind, a great storm that sweeps men down. In the mountains, you measure the fields like a miracle emitted from heaven. You who brings daylight to the mountains and flashes like lightning. You are the lord of the plantations and gardens and the green reed beds, of the quadrupeds of the wide high desert, of the animals, all living creatures of the plains. An, king of the gods, has put them in your hands. He has put them in your hands, and you are their lord, hero of all. They cannot escape your clutches. August wisdom fills the land like the Abzu of his pure house. He tends to this carefully. He calls the house of cedar. He pours light over the fields. The Lord of the Holy Mouth, standing on the high mountains, the light keeping guard over every living thing. Present constantly, every month in the great shine, Uta Ulu, Lord of the gods, great hero of Ans, great lord of Enlils, Nunurta, august son of Ikar, lordly son of his own father, your praise is sweet. The Ikar is the assembly of the gods. Enlil is the personification of the cosmic mountain that the squatter man emerges from. Ninurta is the name for the squatter man. And if you change the end of this prayer to match these words, as suggested by Kronos, then it would read, the Lord of the Holy Mouth, standing on the high mountains, the light keeping guard over every living thing, present constantly, every month in the great shrine, Lord of the gods, great hero of Ans, great lord of the cosmic mountain, squatter man, august son of the assembly of the gods, lordly son of his own father, your praise is sweet. The very word Ikar translates to the assembly of the gods. It is the Sumerian term meaning mountain house. It's the assembly of the gods in the garden of the gods, parallel in Greek mythology to Mount Olympus, and was the most revered and sacred building of ancient Sumer. There is a clear association of ziggurats with mountain houses. Mountain houses play a certain role in Mesopotamian mythology and Assyro-Babylonian religion, associated with deities such as Anu, Enlil, Enki and Ninhursag. In the hymn to Enlil, the Ikar is closely linked to Enlil, whilst in Enlil and Ninlil, it is the abode of the Anunnaki, from where Enlil is banished. The fall of Ikar is described in the lament for Ur. In mythology, the Ikar was the centre of the earth and location where heaven and earth were united. So when the prayer says, Son of Ikar, they are praying to the son of the assembly of the gods. They are praying to the squatter man. Mountain House is a poor translation. A better one is the dwelling place of the gods upon the mountain. But the mountain is of course cosmic. In the texts, sometimes they differentiate the cosmic Ika with the brick-built Ika. And this is the same concept regarding Atlantis, emulating the assembly of the gods in the sky. If you use the poor translation for son of the Ika to mean son of the mountain house, it makes no sense. But if you say son of the assembly of the gods upon the mountain, it makes perfect sense through the lens of our understanding of the squatter man under the assembly. Here's the thing though, according to scholars, Ninurta is the equivalent of Saturn, so Saturn was originally also a name for the squatter man. This assembly, they were the Anu gods. The Anunnaki refers to the gods that came down from the heaven, and that doesn't mean aliens that landed in spaceships. It means that the planet gods and their moons no longer occupied their heavenly positions that they once held. Zechariah Sitchin appears to have muddied the waters badly with this understanding. In many minds, Anunnaki automatically means aliens. The words are derivatives of the god Anu. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, Ishtar as the squatter man is enraged when Gilgamesh refuses to marry her. So she rushes up to heaven to ask Anu if she can wield the Bull of Heaven to attack Gilgamesh. Anu doesn't want to allow this. Ishtar threatens to unleash a zombie apocalypse upon the earth, so he relents and gives her the Bull of Heaven. Gilgamesh and Enkidu ultimately slay the Bull of Heaven, and Ishtar goes to the underworld. It's a personification of real events relating to the catastrophic demise of the assembly of the gods and a squatter man that was lording over the entire earth. In the Lament for Urim, passages 179 through 207, it reads, Enlil brought Jibble as his aid. He called the great storm of heaven. The people groan. The great storm howls above. The people groan. The storm that annihilates the land roars below. The people groan. The evil wind, like a rushing torrent, cannot be restrained. The weapons in the city smash heads and consume indiscriminately. The storm whirled gloom around the base of the horizon, and the people groan. The front of the storm heat blazes, and the people groan. The fiery glow burns with a raging storm. After the haze had lifted at noon, he made fires blaze. He locked up the day and the rising of the bright sun together with the good storm. In the land, he did not let the bright sun rise. It shone like the evening star. In the delightful night, the time when coolness sets in, he redoubled the south wind. The scorching potsherds made the dust glow, and the people groan. He swept the winds over the black-headed people, and the people groan. Sumer was overturned by a snare, and the people groan. It attacked the land and devoured it completely. Tears cannot influence this bitter storm, and the people groan. The reaping storm dragged across the land like a flood storm. It completely destroyed the city. The storm that annihilates the land silenced the city. The storm that will make anything vanish came doing evil. The storm blazing like a fire performed its task upon the people. The storm ordered by Enlil in hate. The storm which wears away the land covered Urim like a garment and was spread out over it like linen. The storm, like a lion, has attacked increasingly, and the people groan. Then the storm was removed from the city, that city reduced to ruin mounds. The lament then describes how corpses are piled and rotting all around the city. As the survivors turned their heads, they couldn't bear what had happened and left as refugees. With these bright insights from Kronos, we can see through the confusion in the literature and gain insight into the events and into the mindsets of the people that experienced this. There is much talk of the squatter man destroying the rebel lands. The lucky survivors would of course see it that way, from their perspective, and write about their god helping them. This is Indra destroying with his thunderbolt. It was so destructive that the survivors described scenes similar to nuclear war, and this is why you see people claim that the ancients had a nuclear weapons war. They didn't. They experienced all of this from events taking place in the sky. They saw it in the sky.